Thank you. So you have a very thorough committee analysis. I want to thank you for that. But what I wanted to cover just briefly is the notion that we shouldn't do this because there's a danger that if we do this, there will be other amendments. Personally, I find that a little bit hard to, well, I find it a little absurd, and I'll go into it for 4 reasons. The first reason is political. So if you imagine that this goes forward, you have 34 states calling for a convention to overturn Citizens United. And the idea that Congress will say, well, this national movement to overturn Citizens United, this national movement on campaign finance reform materialized, but we're going to call a convention to ban the First Amendment. I mean, that's just absurd politically. Legally, under Article 5, the power that we are urging today inures to the people through us, through their state legislatures. Thus, as all lawyers present well know, when the source of authority, which here is us, limits the scope of authority granted, the authority cannot exceed that scope. So here we're authorizing Congress only to call a convention to address Citizens United and nothing else. And so again, it would be a little absurd for them to call a convention to allow soldiers to be quartered in homes. Practically, we can't forget that the Constitution has checks and balances. The states would have an opportunity to ratify whatever the convention did. So again, you go through this crazy scenario where a convention might be called and they do away with jury trials. 3/4 of the states still have to ratify it. It's not going to happen. Finally, it's worth emphasizing that what we're discussing here is the people's power to amend the Constitution. It's a little odd to say the people have this power, but we're worried they might actually exercise it. The people acting through us have the power to call this convention. They're just one state shy of doing it on a federally balanced budget amendment. And it's extremely patronizing to say that this committee has to shield the American people from itself, from exercising a power that is enumerated in our Constitution. We have a historic opportunity here. There have been 4 amendments, although not going to convention, that only occurred after this type of prodding. Things like the direct election of senators and the repeal of prohibition, they were passed by Congress only after the states got serious and stopped urging Congress and started telling Congress what to do, and that was to call for a convention. Our founding fathers believed that political power and legal rights are vested in the people. Our foundational documents, which so many of you cite on the floor all the time, are ripe with references to the people. The Declaration of Independence begins with 3 magic words. The First Amendment covers the right of the people. The Second Amendment contains the exact same language, the right of the people to bear arms. The Fourth Amendment, exact same language, right of the people. The Fifth Amendment begins with no person. I think it's pretty clear that the notion that corporations are people is wrong, and doubly, we're dealing with the issue right now about the right of the people through us, the legislature that is closest to the people, to call for a constitutional convention to address these rights. Let's return power to the people. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.